James Dashner presents The Maze Runner. Table of contents. A through E is Benicia, F through J is Eric, K through O is Kendall, P through S is DeAndre, T through W is Caitlin, and X through Z is Evan. Extra roles. Benicia was the transition. I was the narrator, Eric. Kendall did transitions, cover, and page moving. DeAndre did page moving. Caitlin is transitions, and Evan was a recorder. A is for Albie. Albie was the leader of the Glade, until he decided to sacrifice himself so he wouldn't have to go back to his old life. B is for Box. All the boys were sent to the Glade from the box. This is also how they got supplies. They could put in requests and get the supplies they needed from the box. C is for Chuck. Chuck was Thomas's first friend when he arrived. All the other Gladers think he's annoying, but he's like a little brother to Thomas, until he gets stabbed in the heart and dies. D is for Death. By the end of the book, a lot of kids have died. Some died by getting taken by the Grievers, but a lot of them died by trying to fight. E is for Exit. They figured out how to get out of the maze. Thomas, Teresa, and Chuck helped to open the exit and shut down the Grievers. F is for Friend. When Thomas arrived, he was lonely and scared. Chuck quickly became Thomas's friend. G is for Griever. The maze is very big and complicated. On top of that, there are Grievers guarding it. Grievers are horrifying, ugly, half-slug, half-robot monsters. H is for Homestead. The Gladers have houses that are in the homestead, aka the living quarters. I is for Ivy. In the maze, there are ivy vines on the walls. This is how Thomas saved Albie by suspending him away from the Grievers. J is for Jump. Once the Gladers figured out how to get out of the maze, they fought off the Grievers, and they jumped into the Griever hole. Then they put in the code word in the computer and pressed enter to escape. K is for Keepers. Keepers are the leaders of a group of people, like a boss for a job. Gally is the keeper of the builders, Minnow is the keeper of the runners, Zart is the keeper of the gardens, and Frypan is the keeper of the kitchen. L is for Leader. There are a lot of leaders in this book, such as Minnow, Albie, Newt, and Thomas. Each of them do something that shows either leadership or bravery. M is for Maps. The maps are a very important part of our book. Each section could be put together to form the complete maze. Most of the time letters would form. N is for Newt. Newt is a key role in the book. He was the second in charge of the Glade and was the first person Thomas liked. O is for Out. Out represents what almost all of the Gladers wanted more than anything. They spent 2 years working to escape the Glade. P is for Parents. No one in the Glade can remember any of their family. After Thomas gets out of the Glade, he remembers a little bit of his mother. Q is for Quantity. When the Gladers get out of the maze, there are only 20 of them left. R is for Rescuers. When the Gladers get out of the maze, there are people from Wicked standing there to greet them. But as one lady is speaking, there are a group of people called the Rescuers who come and save them. S is for Serum. When someone gets stung by the Grievers, they have to get the Griever Serum. This makes them go through something called the Changing, and it basically makes them better. T is for Thomas. Thomas is the main character in the book. He was put in a huge maze as a test and has to fight and use strategy to get out, along with the other Gladers. U is for Understanding. Thomas, Teresa have a mutual understanding for each other. They can use telepathy to speak to each other in their minds. V is for Violence. The book is full of violence, but all of it is necessary to survive. It makes the book much more interesting. W is for Wicked. Wicked stands for World and Catastrophe Kill Zone Experiment Department, and is the whole organization that formed the maze. Thomas and Teresa both worked for Wicked, but had their memories wiped. X is for Examine. The creators examined the graders by using the beetle blades. Y is for Young. Young represents how old the kids were when they were taken and practiced on to enter the maze. And Z is for Zart. Zart is the keeper of the gardens, and I drew plants to help represent what he did.